A hardworking dimwit is more valuable than a lazy genius. So there's a lot of really smart guys out there. One of them might be you. And a lot of them have not accomplished much at all. They might be in their 30s and 40s, and even though they have these great gifts of intelligence and creativity and just using their mind in amazing ways, they haven't really done much with their life. And if you're to ask them why not, a lot of them will tell you, that they could have did all the things they wanted or you're asking them about, but they just didn't have the motivation. They'll say, "Oh, I could have been a multimillionaire or started a business or was the musician or wrote amazing novels or been a film director. I could have did all that. I just didn't feel like it." And now that's a pretty convenient excuse. And the reason why they make that is obviously one, to excuse why they did not make the most out of their natural given talents or just their intelligence. And more importantly, it's out of arrogance that their ego is built around their intelligence. So from a young age, they always felt that they were always superior to everyone else, which they were. However, these guys that, they didn't use that intelligence to actually make something for themselves, they continue to use that ego and it just expands and expands to make themselves feel better, to explain away why they didn't do what they could have done. And you hear this a lot on the internet, especially that a lot of people on Twitter, on YouTube comment sections, they say, "Oh, like I could have." They're on a YouTube video about, like, say, a bad movie, reviewing a bad movie. They'll say, "Oh, I could have done such a better job than this person. I could have wrote this scene this way. I would have added in these characters, and it would have been amazing. I would have won an Oscar." And I would have been one of the greatest film directors ever if I wasn't lazy. If I felt like it, I could have done it. Which we all know that's a lie. That their arrogance is just building up. They're just trying to. They're intelligent to notice these mistakes, but they're not smart enough to realize how much work and effort and study these directors and producers put into these films. There's a lot more to the craft than just looking at a surface level. And a lot of critics are like this, that they have this air of arrogance that, that even though they're very right in their critiques about a movie or a book or a show, there's they have this air of arrogance that they could easily do better, that their great intelligence can make the next great American novel or the next Game of Thrones. But the funny thing is, a lot of these critics, when they actually do get an opportunity to make a piece of media, it usually sucks. Two examples are, the nostalgia critic and the angry video game nerd. But I'm not going to go down that path today. I want to just focus on, the excuse part. That they use these excuses, again, to explain why they did not fulfill their potential, which they did have a lot of potential. And they are very smart. It's just, they just started that baseline of having all this intelligence and then just feeling like that was an accomplishment within itself, that they never actually used that intelligence to actually do something. Like if you go to the gym for years on end and eat perfectly healthy and you have this strong body, it's all great to show off, like, "Oh, look how strong I am," but it doesn't matter. No one's going to care until you lift up like a 400-pound rock. That's when people will care. No one cares about your potential. It's about what you actually do. And that's when our hardworking dimwit comes in. Now, I don't like to make fun of stupid people because that's just how they are. Some people just are low intelligence. But I truly believe that hardworking dimwits, people who aren't that smart, but they have a lot of good work ethic and are honest in their work, that they are more valuable than these geniuses who apparently have no motivation, but they could do it. Because just talking about ideas and your potential, that's useless. There's way too many ideas people out here. Everyone has ideas, but what actually matters is what you do. That's what people are being paid for. Most jobs don't require a lot of mental energy. They require just physical work. Even though it's not like lifting, it still just requires your time to do an action. Not many jobs are ideas. The ones that are high paying. That's because people need great ideas superb ideas, and that's what these geniuses should be doing. They should be putting in the work so they can get in those positions, so they can come out with the ideas. They have the experience. They have the hands-on application, whatever ideas they're coming up with, so they could actually maximize their potential. But way too many, they don't. You know, and I think a part of that comes from, like I said, that in their childhood, that they were the smart kid. They were the gifted kid. There's a whole subreddit called something like the gifted kid, where just adults who talk about how they were the smart kid when they were younger, and they had all the talent, but now they grew up to be nothing. And it's a lot of people. I met quite a few people like that in my life. Looking back on it, and it's actually kind of sad. Again, the reason why they get like this is when they're young, they're given all this praise about how smart you are, how much potential you have. You're going to go to the big colleges and going to be the next inventor and all this. And their ego is built around that, and because they feel like they're all that, they don't improve. Now, a lot of historians, a lot of scientists, people who are passionate about this kind of stuff, like when they're young, they're learning a lot, and that's how they get smart. But then their ego builds up, thinking they know everything. They know everything, or they just have these pre-established beliefs that by the time they're 20, they think that everything I believe right now about this particular field is the truth, and everything else is wrong. That's a horrible way to go about it. I think I'm a pretty smart guy, but I have the humbleness to always be learning. Every year I look back, I feel like I got smarter, and smarter. So I learned more. What I believed a year ago, I look back and think, oh man, how stupid was I? I go back 2 years and I think, oh my God, I was an idiot. So when I know now, I will be an idiot compared to myself a year from now. And that's how you get smarter. You're always changing your beliefs based on the truth, objective evidence. And you're just gaining more information, and that's how you get smart. That's how you actually do something. The gifted kid who was great at the guitar when they were young, that they learned like 3 great songs like by the time they were 10. But if they just only played those 3 songs for like years on end, then they never get better. They're still at that level 2, even when everyone else was on level 1. Now, because they never got better, all the other people are on level 5 now. That's what matters. Actually creating value, getting better. That's where the dimwit comes in. Someone who's hardworking, if they don't have a lot of natural talent, they have a lot of room to improve. And that's why a lot of people in positions of power who, they're not smart, but they got the power, they got the money, right? A lot of it's hard work and humbleness. So that's how I look at it, right? Potential, unless you're a child, meaningless, right? Potential only matters when it's realized, that you come out as an adult and you actually start accomplishing things, that you're getting better and you accomplish something. And instead of talking about what you could have been, you talk about what you are. You don't talk about, oh, like if I was the film director, I would have made the movie this way, and I have this great story idea that is better than everyone else's. Instead, you say, this is my movie, right? I did my best, I'm proud of it, and this is my impact on the world. And that's what matters. People care infinitely more about that. And that's why those people get paid a lot more. They get a lot more social capital than the genius who sits in his dark room and just ponders and contemplates on his ideas and potential. And then they grow old and die and it all goes away. The hardworking idiot, he's out there making moves. A lot of those moves are not smart, but some of them are. And the older he gets, the smarter the moves that he gets. And when he dies, he has a legacy. I'm not saying be a dimwit. If you're smart, maximize your potential. Stop talking and start doing. That's how you create true value in this. Thanks for watching.